My name is Anna Palumbo, and I chose to research the sport of para rowing. So, what is para rowing? It is simply rowing for those who are disabled through adaptation. So, changes are made to the boat to best support the athlete, such as straps. You can see they have blindfolds here and seating arrangements. So, para rowing started for the first time in the United States in 1981, and it wasn't until 2008 that para rowing made an appearance in the Paralympic Games in Beijing. Next, we'll talk about the equipment that is used to support these athletes. So, to start, we have strapping. So, this is used for the chest and the knees for extra security in the boat. So, when you're in the boat, you're sitting down on a seat. So you see in the first picture, there's a strapping that is strapped around his torso, and there also may be straps over top of his knees, so that way his knees can stay down and he can be secure in the boat. Next, there are stabilizing pontoons. So these are added to both sides of the boat, seen in the second picture below. They're added to both sides of the boat to stabilize it and keep it afloat and help it from easily tipping over. Um, I'm sorry if you hear anything in the background. Seats. The third one is seats. So, um, seats in the boat can be fixed to allow the athletes to be strapped in at the chest level, which only allows shoulder and arm movement. So you see in the picture below, it's so usually they would just have a seat. You just you just sit your butt on it, and it just slides back and forth. But with these adjusted seats, they have a back to them. So it provides support for those who need it, some torso support. So that way you're only rowing with your upper body, your arms, and your shoulders. So the Paralympian that I chose to research was Okesana Masters. So she was born in 1989, which was 3 years after the Chernobyl nuclear tragedy. And being born at that time caused her to be born with radiation related birth abnormalities. So she was born with a tibial hem, hemimelia, which is different leg lengths, um, resulted in different leg lengths for her. And she had missing weight bearing shin bones in her calves. She had webbed fingers with no thumbs, which she eventually had a procedure done to fix that. And she had 6 toes on each foot. So ultimately, both of her legs were amputated at the age of 9 and 14. And at the age of 13, not long before she got her right leg amputated, she started um, adaptive rowing. And in 2012, at the London Paralympics, Masters and Jones, who is her rowing partner, finished third, winning the first ever United States medal in the trunk and arms mixed double. So she was classified as she was allowed to use her trunk and her arms. So she was strapped in, and as you see in the top left picture, she was strapped in at her legs and her waist, and she was able to use her trunk and her torso and her arms. So she was able to lean forward and row and pull back. Okay, froze for a second. So why I chose this to research this sport. So I'm a former rower and coach. So I rowed all middle school and high school, and I was actually a national rower at the end of my high school career. I got to go to nationals and row a pair with my one other friend. Um, so I was a former rower, and then once I graduated from high school and went to college, um, I started rowing in college at a different school, but I transferred here, so I wasn't able to row anymore. So since I was unable to row, I started coaching. So I actually went back to my old high school and was coaching the middle school team, which was super fun. It was a great experience. Um, but there was actually a girl who was blind, and she came to practice one day and she wanted to row. And I remember just looking at her and thinking, like, how is this going to work? How is this girl ever going to row? Like, she can't row, right? This is before I even like knew about adaptive PE, anything like that. So I thought it was never going to work, but she got in the boat, she was rowing, she did great. Um, but if I had the education that I have now and the equipment that I know that they use, I would have been able to advocate for that and ask the school for that and get this girl a program for her that would work for her. And I could put her in a single boat and she can learn how to row by herself and do it all by herself because we had no other we had no other disabled people on the team, but um if she was able to get in a boat by herself and use the accommodations, she could accelerate in her rowing experience, and we could possibly put her in another boat with other people and she could start working with other people. So I wanted to research this to get more knowledge on that. That way, when I'm, a future coach, and if I'm ever in that situation again, I know what to do. And I'm not thinking, oh, this person's restricted. I'm thinking like this person can do this. I just need to like, know what is needed. And now that I know what's needed, I can definitely execute that and make rowing or any sport sorry. Now that I have the education and the tools that I need, I can become a better coach through that and help those who need it and help them become better rowers and learners as well. And then my works cited is next. Okay, there we go. Thank you.